This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine. Sarah had always dreamed of quiet. After the divorce, after the city noise that never stopped, after nights when Tommy cried himself to sleep in a too small apartment, she needed silence. So she bought the old farmhouse sight unseen. A few acres of overgrown fields, a sagging porch, and one dirt road leading to nowhere. Only one neighbor in sight. A weathered cabin across the way, half swallowed by twisted oaks. The first evening, as the sun bled orange across the fields, Sarah sat on the steps with Tommy. He was 8, still small enough to curl against her side. They watched the sky turn purple while crickets started their chorus. That was when Elias appeared. He walked slowly from the cabin, straw hat low, overalls faded to gray. His boots made no sound on the gravel. "Mornin', ma'am," he said, voice like dry leaves. "Name's Elias, saw the truck yesterday. Welcome to the Hollow." Sarah smiled politely. Tommy peeked from behind her leg. Elias crouched to his level, eyes soft. "Fine boy. Reminds me of my own, long ago." He straightened, tipping his hat. "Watch that well out back, deeper than it looks. And don't wander the fields after dusk. Things get lost out there." Sarah thanked him. As he turned away, she noticed something odd. No footprints in the soft mud from last night's rain, just smooth earth as if he'd floated across. Days passed in a strange rhythm. Tommy's red ball rolled into the tall grass one afternoon. Sarah searched, calling his name. When she looked up, Elias was holding the ball out to her, standing right where the grass met the road. "Told you about those fields," he said with that same gentle smile. She hadn't heard him approach. No rustle, no footsteps, just there. Nights were worse. Sarah woke to pacing overhead, slow, deliberate steps in the attic. She told herself it was the house settling, but the steps always stopped when she listened harder, as if whatever made them knew she was awake. One stormy evening, the power died. Thunder cracked like gunfire. Tommy whimpered in the dark. Sarah fumbled for candles, then a soft knock at the door. Elias stood on the porch, lantern glowing in his hand. "Storms knock out the lines," he said. "Thought you might need light." He stepped inside without being asked. The lantern cast long shadows that didn't quite match his shape. Tommy quieted almost instantly. Elias sat by the fireplace, telling stories in a low, steady voice. Tales of families who came to the Hollow, built lives, then left, or didn't. "Some folks never really leave," he said, eyes on the flames. "They just wait." Sarah felt grateful, but unease crawled under her skin. He knew things, Tommy's favorite dinosaur toy, the name of her ex-husband, the song she used to sing when Tommy was a baby. She'd never told him any of it. "How do you know all that?" she finally asked. Elias chuckled softly. "Just good at reading people, ma'am." The next morning, Sarah drove into town for groceries. At the old general store, she mentioned her neighbor. The clerk, an older woman with tight lips, froze. "Elias? From the cabin across the road?" She leaned closer, voice dropping. "That place has been empty since '89. Elias Hawthorne fell down his own well. They never found the body. Folks say he still walks the Hollow, watching over newcomers, or waiting for someone to join him." Sarah's stomach dropped. She sped home, heart slamming against her ribs. The cabin across the road was a ruin. Windows shattered, roof caved, vines strangling the door. No smoke from the chimney, no lantern light. Nothing had lived there in decades. That night the pacing returned, louder, closer. Sarah lay awake, clutching Tommy. A soft knock echoed through the house. She didn't answer. The knock came again, slower. Patient, she crept downstairs. The front door stood open, just a crack. Wind moved the curtains like breath. On the porch, Elias waited, straw hat in hand, eyes reflecting no light. "Told you about that well," he whispered. "It's where I wait for company." Sarah grabbed Tommy and ran into the storm. They drove until dawn, never looking back. But in the rearview mirror, just once, she saw him, standing in the middle of the empty road, waving slowly, his smile calm and endless. Some houses remember, some neighbors never leave, and sometimes when the quiet you came looking for is already waiting for you, just because they never happened, doesn't mean they ain't true.